my name is Evelyn Joy, and welcome back to my channel. If you do not like sad videos, or if you are triggered about infant loss, I would not watch this video. So now is your chance to exit stage left. I wanted to give you guys an update about Gabriel. Because I think this video can maybe be helpful for other people who have lost a loved one, who are navigating grief. For those of you who did not watch my two former videos back a long time ago about Gabriel, Gabriel David was found to have no heartbeat in my womb at 17 weeks gestation in August, and I gave birth to him stillborn on August 22nd. I don't count it as a miscarriage because I labored and I birthed my child, and I held him after he had passed, and he was the size of my hand. And I wanted to review some of the information that is in the folder about grief. Tomorrow would be his due date. January 21st was going to be his due date. So the first thing I want to read about is helping yourself heal. Don't run away from your feelings. Easier said than done. Cry when you need to. A loss in your life is sad. Give yourself permission to feel it. Now, the issue I have with this is I'm a mama 24/7 with my little ones. And in ways this has helped me, and in ways this has hindered me to grieve. Because it has helped me, because hugging my living children has brought medicine to my grieving heart. But always being around them has prevented me from allowing myself to show sadness in any way. They don't understand. They feel worried when mama's upset. So I have, not intentionally, but just in survival mode, I have tucked those feelings away to the point where I didn't even feel that they were there. I thought that I was fine. And grief's a funny thing. Grief comes in waves. You can feel like everything is fine for 2 months, and then somebody says a comment and it sets you off crying, and it's like, apparently I'm not okay, you know? The reason I'm sitting in this corner of my office is this is the shelf that's normally these two shelves are switched around, but I moved it so you guys can see a little bit. It's a drawing of Gabriel, a little statue of the size that he was, a bracelet for me, and a little angel, and pictures of him and us with him, and his box of mementos. And I wanted to show you guys these things specifically in this video. These are things I've recently bought for Gabriel's shelf, because making things and putting things together, or at least just acknowledging in private, is a way that I process grief. And buying these things has helped me to feel like my son's not forgotten. It says, tell people what you need. You know what I need right now? I need a nanny. Because what I did was I joined a gym. That's one way that I joined a gym out of desperation, because I had all of these negative emotions but I needed to work out. And now what I need is someone to watch my kids so I can go to the gym. Maybe I should have joined a gym that had childcare in it. But I joined a gym that is just women because I don't feel comfortable exercising around men. That's a whole nother thing. But I really like Curves because it's an encouraging place where women work out and are encouraged, and I wish it was closer to my house, and I wish it had childcare. So that's something I would like to do more of in this year. So tell people what you need. What I need is somebody to watch my kids so I can go work out more often. So if you're watching this and you want to babysit, let me know. Just kidding, but seriously. Find ways to deal with stress. So yeah, that's what I do. I go exercise, or even just go to the grocery store by myself. And even before and after going to the grocery store, I just sit in my car sometimes. Sometimes I buy a candy bar that's just for me and I eat it before I get home. I don't share it with my kids. And is that a healthy choice? Not necessarily, but it's better than like alcohol or a cigarette or something. It's, I guess chocolate with almonds is my go-to. I wouldn't call it an addiction, but you know, my go-to thing. That's just my indulgence. There you go. It's my indulgence. So it says set goals for yourself. Working through grief may be a long process. Give yourself time along the way. Set goals, realistic goals, moment by moment. Don't pressure yourself to get over your grief by a certain time. Do something you enjoy. Go to a movie or a concert. Have lunch with a friend. Plan a trip. Start looking forward. Don't feel guilty about enjoying what you do. And I've continued having play dates and enjoying my job, and I think you guys see that on YouTube. I'm not being disingenuous when I'm happy. It's just somewhere buried down in my heart is sadness for my son that passed away, and that's part of grief. Get professional help if you need it, and that costs money. Common grief reactions: angry, confused, sad, hurt, uncertain, disappointed, lonely, shocked, frightened, distressed, bitter, guilty, hopeless, relieved, withdrawn, absent-minded, preoccupied. Physically, you may feel tired, sick, bothered by noise, shortness of breath, rapid heartbeat, tightness in your chest, tightness in your throat, dry mouth, muscular weakness, disoriented. I think I have been sometimes withdrawn. And I'll talk more about that later. Am I grieving normally? I think there's no way to answer this question because there's 1,000,001 ways to grieve, and as long as you're not like self-harming or self-medicating, I think there's no wrong way to grieve, unless you're like depressed and you need to seek help. People often ask 3 questions when they're going through grief. Am I normal? Am I going crazy? Will I ever get over this? A better question is whether grief is healthy. There is, of course, no one right way to grieve. Many of the strangest emotions and thoughts are actually quite normal. But even people who grieve in a healthy manner may have times when they are overwhelmed by their grief. The following checklist may help you figure out how you are doing as time goes on. You will find you are answering yes to more and more questions. But if you are not satisfied with how you are doing, please seek help. Am I able to laugh without feeling guilty? Do I pay attention to my personal appearance, hair, makeup, hair, clothes, makeup? Just for work and YouTube. Do I enjoy being out with friends for an evening? Please, yeah. Am I feeling pressure? I will not read that full sentence. Sorry, it's just, that's not what I want to discuss right now. That's private. Am I able to sit quietly by myself and think of things other than the loss? Yeah. Do I have an interest in current local events and news, television, or radio, or newspaper? Yeah. Except for, I think that the news doesn't cover the most important stuff. I think that it's a load of crap half the time because soapbox. The news does not cover half the important stuff that should be covered, and they just cover according to their political agenda. Anyway, do I feel I can effectively parent my surviving children? Yes, but I need more breaks from them, please. Am I able to do daily tasks I'm used to performing? Yard work, housework, cooking, household maintenance. When you're sad or when you're withdrawn, simple tasks can become more difficult. So things like dishes and laundry and picking up can become more cumbersome. But I'm keeping up somehow. I think I'm doing a good job. My husband would disagree. Okay. Oh well. Do I look forward to outings, trips, and social and special events? I mean, when I have them. I really enjoyed the Christmas meetup with VIP Kid. Am I involved with activities that I participated in before the loss? Church, work, volunteer, clubs, sports teams, and a job. That's something I want to talk about in a minute, but I've become withdrawn at church, and I'm just now kind of getting back into the swing of things as far as that goes. Still attending, but withdrawn. Hints for holiday coping. Be kind to yourself. Focus on what you want to do. Grief can be physically exhausting. Respect what your body is telling you. Get rest, nourishment, and affection you need. The only way through grief is to feel it, not deny it. Cry if you need to, and share your feelings with people who understand. Ask for what you need. Don't follow other people's holiday plans if you don't feel right. Blah, blah, blah. Be with those who comfort you. Eliminate unnecessary stress. Raise the memory. Include your loved one's name in conversation. That's what I did by buying these things for Christmas. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. That's all I'm going to read. That's enough. That's just part of the folder, but I wanted to review that to see how I'm following that. So originally, I had plans of how I was going to grieve. And I didn't follow those plans because grief is like, it was like I was planning a road trip without realizing what construction was along the way and what detours I would have to make. So in October, I had planned on going to an event at the hospital for all of the parents who have lost babies, where they release a balloon. And I really wanted to go, but our car had a check engine light on, and it had been like, our van, I should say, it had been like smoking. So I couldn't even go to church that day, and then it was pouring rain, and I couldn't take my kids out in that, and I didn't want to risk the van smoking. I'm like, I'm not going to risk my alive children's lives to try to go to this event. So we had to get our van fixed a couple days later. That was on a Sunday, so the places aren't really open, and my husband was working. Then there was an event in December, like early December. It was a candle lighting service, and you put an ornament on the tree in honor of your child who passed away. And we had sort of been planning on going. We put the reminder on the refrigerator, and I intentionally forgot because I'm not ready yet. Am I denying that he passed? I don't know. I think it's easier to put one foot in front of the other if you're not focusing on that loss, because it's just how do you get over losing a child? You just don't. But it does get better. When I first got out of the hospital, it hurt to see pregnant women or newborns. My heart hurt. And now, I thought that in January it would be extra hard because it's his due date, January 21st. I thought that seeing newborns would hurt. But surprisingly, whenever I see a newborn, I'm happy for them because their baby made it. Sorry. I don't feel jealous because I feel so blessed that I have 3 healthy little ones that I can hug, that I can mother. And I feel like so many people struggle with infertility or having pregnancy loss before having any children. I had 2 miscarriages very early on before having my 3 children. And I'm blessed that I have 3 healthy children. All 3 of them had situations surrounding that pregnancy and their births that made them high risk, and I almost lost them in different situations, and God preserved their lives, and so I have 3 miracle babies. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the mementos that I bought for Christmas. If you watched my Black Friday shopping video, I didn't really talk in that video, but I bought this at Kohl's. I want you to see it. It's knitted, and it's factory made, but it looks like it's homemade and home stitched. Why this is special. When my first Esther was a baby and it was her first Christmas, my aunts, Aunt Carolyn and Aunt Brenda, they went to Florida on vacation, and they bought me a stocking exactly like this with an E on it. And it was Esther's first Christmas stocking. And the next year, I was expecting Deborah. I was pregnant with her, and Esther was just over 1 year old. And I was soon to have Deborah. I had Deborah on January 2nd, 3 years ago. And I wanted to get letter D one, and I asked my aunts what store they got it at, how I could somehow find another one. And they said they could not remember. So I thought, oh man. Then one day I was at Kohl's, and I found one for just like $3. And they had a whole rack of all different letters. So then the next year we had a pet rabbit who has since passed away. But I bought a paw print one because instead of the letter they have a paw print. And then the next year I had baby Joshua, David Joshua, but since his sister Deborah already had a D, I got him a J for Joshua. We call him Joshua more than David Joshua. And then comes this year, and I was able to, at Kohl's for just about $3, $2, get him a letter G, and every year I'm going to hang it up just in his honor. It's just a way of silently recognizing that we haven't forgotten him and that he's still a part of our family and he's still acknowledged even though he's in heaven. But grief is a funny thing because I did not want or feel comfortable with buying him an ornament that said baby's first Christmas for several reasons. First of all, he was not due to be born before Christmas. He was due to be born after Christmas. Second of all, it was technically baby's first Christmas in heaven, but I didn't feel like I wanted anything that said that on it. It was just too sad. And I just didn't feel like I wanted something that said baby's first Christmas because he wasn't here to celebrate it. But at the thrift store, I was buying outfits for each of my children for Christmas. And this was less than $1. Size newborn little Christmas outfit. And I put it in my cart and I bought it and I needed it and I wanted it. And I'm weird like that because I didn't want an ornament that said baby's first Christmas, but I decided to buy him a Christmas outfit. And when I was at Dollar General, I saw this pin at the checkout that had an angel on it. And Gabriel is an angel in the Bible, and I just decided to get it. It's just kind of a reminder of him. And I went to the thrift store and I saw this sweet little book. I'm going to read it to you. And I decided to buy it to put on Gabriel's shelf. It says, I love you as much. Said the mother horse to her child. I love you as much as a warm summer breeze. Said the mother bear to her child, I love you as much as the forest has trees. Said the mother camel to her child, I love you as much as the desert is dry. Said the mother goose to her child, I love you as much as the endless blue sky. Said the mother sheep to her child, I love you as much as the grass on the hill. Said the mother mouse to her child, I love you as much as the grain in the mill. Said the mother goat to her child, I love you as much as the mountain is steep. Said the mother whale to her child, I love you as much as the ocean is deep. Now sleep, child of mine. While the stars shine above. I love you as much as a mother can love. And so I bought that for Gabriel. Other things that I had planned on that didn't work out how I planned. These are Gabriel's yarns. I had plans and ideas of things to use these yarns for. I bought them as I was heading to the hospital to give birth to him because I wanted to make something for him. I made him a little hat and a little blanket. So that yarn now is sacred to me. I was planning on making something special for his siblings for Christmas. Or making some hats for babies who pass in the hospital. But this yarn it sits untouchable. I cannot bring myself to use this yarn at this time. I feel like I have to come up with the perfect thing to use it for, or I just can't bring myself to use it. I could buy more yarn of that kind at Walmart anytime. What's wrong with my brain that I can't bring myself to use this untouchable sacred yarn? It's supposed to be used for a part of Gabriel's legacy, and I can't bring myself to make anything with it. I just can't do it. So maybe someday I'm gonna have an epiphany of what I'm gonna make out of this yarn, and that's the day I can touch it and use it. But right now it's like Excalibur's sword stuck in a stone, if that makes any sense. It's like it's cannot be moved, cannot be used at this time. But it sits there waiting for me to think up the best purpose for it. So the blanket and hat for him are in there. That's a drawing someone did of him at the hospital. So yeah. I wanted to read you a few things. Oh, okay, so I was gonna talk about church. Okay, I want to say that something to mothers who are grieving, okay? Don't let people push you around. Don't let people tell you that you have to be okay. Like, a lot of times people are really good intentioned and they don't even realize what they're saying, or that what they're saying is hurtful. But sometimes you need some distance from people who are negative. And the negativity can even be telling you you're not supposed to be sad, that you're supposed to be happy, or that they want to see you happy. Like, you're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to grieve. You know what I mean? Just... Okay. This is Romans 8:38 through 39. It says, "For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord." This is another thing I want to show you. The best way to heal a broken heart is to give God all the pieces. And that is so true. That's by Toby Mac, who's a Christian singer. The best way to heal a broken heart is to give God all of the pieces. If I'm being totally honest with you guys, I'll talk to you about this. Your diet is not only what you eat. It is what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, the people you hang around. Be mindful of the things you put into your body emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I've been watching a lot of true crime stuff, stories about people that get murdered or get kidnapped, and I've been watching that a lot on YouTube. And it can give you nightmares. Like, I had a bad nightmare about that, so that's not a good thing to put in your brain. Better to listen to Christian music or something. Philippians 4:6-8. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. Here's a picture of when I was 16 weeks pregnant with Gabriel. Here's a picture of my 3 children visiting me in the hospital after losing Gabriel. And I'm pro-life, so if you're not pro-life, like, I'm sorry. But this is my political perspective. That abortion is the gravest human right abuse of all time. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Oh, and this is the last one. I think. Oh no, there's 2 more. Okay. It says, grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. And I love, love, love this one. This one speaks to the depths of my soul. I need, and it has a bunch of things crossed out. I need a cleaner home. A cleaner house. I need to make more money. I need to be happier. I need to lose weight. I need to cook more. I need to be better. I need Jesus. Is not crossed out. So I think I need all these things, and I don't really. What I need is Jesus, and that's true. So, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I almost never get breaks from my kids. So during this time, my pastor was doing a sermon series on Job. And instead of it being comforting to me, it was like a knife in my heart every time. So what I would do is I would bring my kids, judge me if you want to. I would bring my youngest to nursery, my 3-year-old to the 2 and 3-year-old Sunday school class, my 4-year-old to the 4-year-old Sunday school class. I would go to my Sunday school class. Then I would check all of them and make sure they're doing fine. And I would listen to some of the music in the back of the service. And then when the sermon started, when it got to a point that I couldn't handle it anymore, I would exit the building. Sometimes I would sneak into a classroom and take a short nap. Sometimes I would drive over to the nearby Burger King and buy a breakfast sandwich. I can't believe I am sharing with you guys that I played hooky at church. But I could not listen to those sermons on Job. So now the sermon series is on to bigger and better things. And I've been staying in this service more. But I almost miss my little break away. I don't get breaks from my kids that much. So, and also, I don't know that I've been avoiding God, but I haven't been pushing him away, but I've been withdrawn. I've not been super passionate about the Word of God lately. But I've noticed that when Christian radio comes on, it feels like medicine on my soul. So I should probably do less crime shows on YouTube and more Christian music. So long story short, grief comes in waves. Allow yourself to be sad. I personally, I feel like I'm doing a lot better than when it first happened. If I would go out in public and see a pregnant woman or see a newborn, I would feel really, really sad. And now I don't. I see pregnant women and newborns and I'm disconnected from that. I'm just like, cool, I'm happy for you, whatever. But before it was hard. But I'm just really thankful for my kids. One thing that's difficult for me is I had subscribed to the emails that gives you updates of how far along you are in your pregnancy, and I keep getting them like every week. They're really annoying, and there's no unsubscribe button, so I need to figure out how to unsubscribe to that. But it says like, oh, your pregnancy this week, you're currently 39 weeks, and I'm like, shut up, I lost the baby at 17 weeks. Like, stop telling me what size my baby would be if he was still alive. You know what I mean? But at the same time, out of morbid curiosity, I still keep it in my email box as just a reminder for him. Grief is weird, because it's like, there's no way of knowing how to navigate it correctly. But yeah. So I'm sorry I didn't have like a better update for you. I just thought that in honor of Gabriel, I would make this update video about him. And I think just my way of coping is I keep buying stuff for his shelf. I want to show you this. I made this bracelet. I bought this picture frame, but then I decided instead of putting a picture of Gabriel in it, I was just gonna see it's a little angel. Isn't that sweet? I got that at a thrift store. So when I was still in the hospital, leaving the hospital, I ordered online on I think it was wish.com. I ordered a few like keychain charm, necklace charms, whatever. And it says fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalm 139:4. I wanted one of those for my son Gabriel because his brother and sisters have shirts that say that, and I wanted him to match them. I've got little footprints that are almost exactly the size that his little feet were. And I've got a little thing that says, I will hold you in my heart until I hold you in heaven. And I've got a G for Gabriel. And I've got other little feet. Those feet are pretty small. Those are smaller than his were. And angel wings. Obviously, I understand that babies do not become angels, but he's my little angel baby. So yeah, I thought that this little picture frame's the perfect thing to hold that bracelet on. So yeah, I've got the Serenity prayer up there in brown, but I'd like to get it in a different color and replace it. But the Serenity prayer says, you know what, I'm gonna finish this video with the Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you for watching my video about Gabriel. If you're grieving, please let me know how I can be praying for you. You can comment below. Thank you. Goodbye.